So let's stand up. We're going to work on Porta de Ferro first. To get Porta de Ferro, you just step in your normal stance. Leave your hands at the hips where they go. Pick up the sword, and it'll be 90 degrees. Now, a couple things while we're doing this, since I haven't touched on grip and stuff. To refresh, we've got the débellé, mezzo, and fortezza of the sword for the strong, middle, and weak. The true edge, where your knuckles go, you always hold the sword with your right. Is everybody right-handed or lefties? Wow, all righties. That's amazing. Okay, and useful. Your right hand is always the one near the hilt, and your right hand stays on the sword at all times. It doesn't come off to wrestle. The left hand will do that. The right hand, though, stays near the hilt, and it's the one you're going to grip it pretty much with these two fingers. Now, you don't want to have a death grip on the thing, but you do want to make it fluid. Now, you'll never do these little X-y things in the course of a fight, but these little figure eights are useful to do to get a feel for the weapon. And just to reinforce the point that it's those two fingers that are going to hold on to the weapon. At various points in the grip, the hand will close. But generally speaking, it's the two fingers that have the control on it. And you make that as fluid as you can get it. Just gently flowing it over. If you think you got that, try going backwards. And going that way. So the two fingers. Okay, now with the left hand just gently sits on the back just to reinforce it. It doesn't have to sit like this. It can sit wherever is comfortable for your left hand. In fact, in many cases, it's just kind of on there. Don't grip the blade until you have to. Again, that's a kind of commitment. You don't need to make that commitment. I want to keep my left hand free for wrestling. True, we didn't cover most of the wrestling. We can't in a short class. But if it comes off, that's the thing that I'm going to go forward with. That's what I'm going to stop things with. So for our Porta de Ferro, just take it in the right hand. If I'm looking from the side, you'll notice that you see the blade, even though he's showing it to you from the side. That means that the true edge, the edge that's oriented with your front knuckles, is forward. The back edge is the false edge, although Fiore doesn't call it true or false. If you just sit it with there, let your back hand come onto it. Now, you don't want to have your wrists all messed up like so or like so. Your wrists are pretty much straight. And whatever your grip needs to do to maintain that straight wrist is what you do. Because that's the strength in your wrist is more important than having your two hands in the thing. So set it up. Make sure that it's roughly 90 degrees and that it's close to the floor. The reason you want it close to the floor, if it's up at all, your opponent can engage the blade and gain control over you. You don't want that. So the blade sits pretty much near the floor and at roughly 90 degrees. You can cant the hands forward a little bit if you want to pull the blade edge back a little bit. But notice that when he does that, his elbow comes out. But also, he gets a little bit more power. The reason you don't flare the tip back a long way, like this, is because making cover takes a very long time then. To get back to frontale, which is where you're going to have to go, takes a really long time, really too long. So you want that point to be roughly 90 degrees. You want your stance to be fluid, be able to crescere, decrescere, even potentially passere, although if you do that, you expose this leg, so you have to be careful with that one. Typically, if you're going to do a passere, have you move to Porta de Ferro Mezzano. But for the most part, just sit it there at the floor pretty much. This is a very good waiting position because it should be comfortable. I like to make it so that my left arm, the line between my left hand and the sword is straight all the way down. My right hand just kind of sits on it. Even though my left hand isn't really gripping it, I try to make that line straight. And the right hand is ready to go. You should feel that it packs some oomph if you're going to bring it forward. Now, oddly enough, Fiore likes to thrust from here. He steps off the line and makes a thrust. But you can also strike from here. If you were striking, you'd be striking with the true edge, the front edge, not the back edge. So we go around. You want to go around that way, Russell. Make sure that everyone's got the true edge forward. And you can be very relaxed, and that's actually a good place to start a fight. It's pulsativa, remember, so you can get a lot of oomph coming out of that sucker. You can also thrust from there, as Fiore actually says in the paragraph. So you have multiple attack options. And don't get the idea that you're always stuck attacking from that angle. From Porta de Ferro, I can do a reverso strike as well. with no problem at all. It's a little more convoluted. My footwork has to be right, but it can be done. All right, from Porta de Ferro, all I want you to do is take the blade and run it forward so it's very close to the ground and it's right in front of you. It should be in the middle of the body. Blade in the middle of the body. So it's right down the middle. Don't have it off to one side or the other. Fiore is all about controlling the middle of the fight. Just like those 4 squares in a chessboard, you want to control this middle zone. So this is a very good guard for doing that. And you notice if you step from Porta de Ferro and you try to step this way, you get this strange position where this foot is forward and I'm trying to get the wrong leg forward. So what I usually teach people, if you're going to do a mezzo volta or a passing step, just transition to mezzo Porta de Ferro. And now you look just like the picture. Notice it's got a little bit more weight on the front. The tip is down. That's very, very, very important for this one.